Hi, you expressed frustration at this particular question, and one of the first things I would suggest that you do is go to the formula chart for the unit and see what formulas you get to have access to on the test and kind of practice from that point of view. So when you go to the formula chart for the second test, the only thing that we're actually using here is compound interest paid n times per year. And so what I did is I went to open up Excel, and I put that formula, just copy and pasted it over there. And that's kind of the other question I want to throw at you is, what technology are you going to use to answer this particular question? I am a huge Excel fan, and I think Excel speeds things up and makes things really easy to do. And the nice thing is, when you get something wrong, the computer will change the numbers on you, but if you build it in Excel, the fact that they change the numbers won't hurt at all. You can just modify your formulas from there. So let me kind of show you what I've done for this particular question. And I'm going to make these a little bit bigger so you can kind of see. So I actually went ahead and calculated all the formulas, but I want to show you exactly how one does this. And I'm just going to make this huge. There we go. Kind of change my numbers up. Okay. So what I did is I said, well, I need the amount of the deposit and I need the interest rate. And the deposit right there in this particular case is $1,600, and the interest rate is 5.25%, so that's 0.0525. Okay. Now, the first type of account we're going to talk about is simple interest. Simple interest means they look at your original deposit and they give you that percent every single year. So let me kind of clear this number up. So in Excel, I'm going to hit equals, and then I'm going to say the deposit amount times the percentage, and so I expect to get $84 every single year. And so I'm going to show you again how I got this number. So I want to take the initial deposit and I want to add the simple interest for that year, so I get $1,684. And then I come down here and do compound annually and then compound monthly. So again, let me delete that so you can see how I did this. So in compound annually, that is, and I'm using this formula here, that's the principal times parentheses 1 plus our APR. Now, compound annually means they're going to look at it once a year. So our n is 1. Then I'm going to raise it, and that's the caret key in Excel, parentheses, and then n times y. Well, n being 1 times y is the year. And so at this stage, it's not going to make a huge difference because we're going to get the same dollar amount as the simple interest, but there's a reason for that. And then compound monthly, again, let me get rid of this and I'll show you how I did that exactly. So compound monthly is, click on the deposit times parentheses 1 plus our APR. Now monthly means divide that by 12, and then we're going to raise that. I'm going to make that bigger. So then caret parentheses 12 times the year, in this case, is 1. And then I'm going to hit enter.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so from here, I'm going to test this. Let me show the beauty of Excel here. So I am going to cover that up. I'm going to minimize this so I have them both on the screen at the same time. And for the first year 1, simple interest is $1,684. For compound annually is $1,684, and compound monthly is $1,686. Okay. Now I'm going to check it, and I'm going to get these other pieces wrong. But again, this great thing about Excel, and you'll see why. That's okay. So I'm going to hit submit, and I should see 3 green checks, which means I have this built, at least for that first year, correctly. So then I'm going to retake it so I can work on the second 2 questions. And it's changed my numbers up, and you're thinking, oh no, all that work I did. No, 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 just come over here. And if I switch this to the new amount and switch this to the new percent, it'll automatically update the first 3 numbers. So I've got that piece all done, and I can focus on the second piece. Okay. which brings me to, and I'm just going to do it right here, year 5. So 5 years later. Okay, well, bring that up a little bit. In 5 years, I have the initial deposit plus 5 times that simple interest. And so I would expect that to be my amount for the first 5 years. For a compound annually, okay, again, let me pull up that formula, or at least get it on so you can see it on the screen at the same time. We've got our principal times parentheses 1 plus the APR divided by n, again annually is once, and here's where it's going to change, caret, I do once times 5, and I should see a different answer, which I do. And in the last case, okay, so equals, click on deposit, times parentheses 1 plus the APR. This time it's 12 again. Caret, parentheses, and then 12 times the year, which in this case is 5. Okay, and so I get that second row of numbers. And the nice part about Excel again, I am going to, I'm going to scoot this up so I can see just that bottom piece. And I'm going to try to see that year 5 set of numbers there. Okay, so just that 5. And all I want to check is that it works. So 2375, 2425, 2438. And I'm just going to check just that row of numbers and just see I get the 3 green checks, which I do. Now, had I had typed in that first row, I'd have gotten those 2 questions correct. But now I've got it set up correctly, kind of have a general idea as to how to do the rest of this. So I'll go ahead and stop here, and you just replace the 5 with 10, and that works just fine. But again, the nice part about Excel is when I redo the problem, all I have to do is reset the initial deposit and the initial percentage. So my deposit for this example is 800 and 2%, so 0.02. And now it's changed all of my numbers, so now I can go back in and get credit for those 2 questions, and hopefully this will help you kind of build that last row with the 10.